Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel UI Ninjas. So in this video I am going to discuss about advanced CSS. Topic is CSS transition. The CSS transition are effects that are added to change the element from one style to another without using Flash or JavaScript. How to use CSS transitions? To create a transition effect, you must specify two things. The CSS property you want to add an effect to, the duration of the effect. If the duration part is not specified, the transition will have no effect because the default value is 0. You can add different properties like transition. If you want to add shorthand property, so we use the transition property, in which we set the 4 transition property into a single property. Next is transition delay. These properties allows you to determine the amount of time to wait before the transition actually starts to take place. Next is you can set transition duration. This properties allows you to determine how long it will take to complete the transition from one CSS property to another. Next is transition property. This property allows you to select the CSS properties which you want to animate during the transition. Next is transition timing function. These properties allows you to determine the speed of change and the manner of change during the transition. Like the change should be fast at the beginning and slow at the end. The transition timing function property can have following values like ease, linear, ease in, ease out, ease in, out, cubic Bezier. You can change these different values to transition timing function property. Here we take one example. First we create a div. In between that we set all these properties like transition property, transition duration, transition timing function and transition delay. If you want to change on hover state, so we add width property. If you want to change the width, so we add width property. By using the shorthand property transition, we add all the 4 values into single property. So we use transition property. Next is if you want to add transition plus transformation, so we use transition property. In between that we set the width, duration, height duration and transform duration. So we can take one example of this. Open the Sublime text editor and start. First we make the div selector. In between that we add the width. We set the width of the div, so we add width property. Next we set the height of the div, that is also 150 px. Set background color of the div, that is green. You can also use here different transition properties like transition property. If you want to change the width, so we add the width in transition property. And you can also set the transition duration, that is 2 seconds. And here we use the transition timing function. Value is linear. You can change this value by ease in, ease out, ease in, out, cube Bezier. Next is transition delay property. You can set the transition delay, value is 1 second. Next we add div on hover state. If you want to change the width during hover, so we add width property and change the value of width. In body section we add some text first, and here we create a div. Save this file and see the result on the browser window. Here this transition shows. If you want to add shorthand property, so we use transition property in our code. Open the Sublime text editor and all these properties in single line. So we can add here transition and here we set the width like 2 seconds and transition timing function is linear value, and next we set the transition delay. All these 4 properties in single line we can use like this. If you want to add transition plus transformation, so we use the width and then timing duration, next height, then timing duration, next we add the transform property, value is and timing is 2 seconds. You can also add on hover state, height is 50 px, and here we use the transform property and we use rotate function. In between that we add the value. If you want to rotate on 360 degree, so we add 360 degree value, and if you want to add 180, then object rotate on 180 degree. Save this code and see the result on the browser window. These objects rotate by using transformation. Thank you. If you like this video, so please like, share and comment.